Let's talk about crypto and stable coins. So, one thing that's come up with this whole situation with the Saudis is that they're going to stop buying treasuries. And the way the system worked before and why it's called a petrodollar is that the Saudis would take the money that we gave them for the oil and buy US treasuries. And that was kind of the deal. They were washing it, or whatever you want to call, however you want to phrase that. And the plan, which Zoltan Pozar talked about this years ago. Like, I've known that this was the plan, or I understood that this was the plan since I thought it was 2020. I think it might be 21 or 22 when he talked about Bretton Woods 3. But that you would, instead of the Saudis buying the treasuries, you would use the normal person on the street to buy the treasuries. And that's what the stable coins are doing. So somebody in Chile or Russia or China or Iran even can go on their phone. They can buy a stable coin from Tether or Circle. And then the Tether and Circle take the money that they get from these guys, and it's going to buy US treasuries. That's the way it's working right now. And so anybody who's saying that the Saudis have us hostage or the Chinese have us hostage, it's just not true. We've moved over to new rails. So in the meantime, the Russian government back last month actually conceded that Russians are spending $648 million a day on the crypto exchanges. This was from the deputy finance minister, said this. Annual transaction volume is over $130 billion. And, quote, it's outside the scope of our control. So they have no control over what people are doing. And this is a huge issue because if you think about it, what makes a country sovereign? I mean, some of it is control over the money supply. So if they can't control who buys what and who transacts in what currency, how sovereign are you? By mid-2025, Russian users held an estimated $11.89 billion on global crypto exchanges. And Russia is the largest crypto market in Europe now, ahead of the UK was second, I think. And then Germany, actually, oddly, and Ukraine. Yeah, and it's the same situation. I don't know what the numbers look like for Iran, but I suspect, maybe it's not as big because Russia is bigger, but it's a similar situation. And people use this as a hedge against their own currencies failing. You can imagine that Turkey is in a similar boat, but yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. And that's why these stablecoins are so important to U.S. policy.